Our main purpose today is to update you on recent developments with the Generation to Generation campaign. And we want to do that with the purpose of inviting you to think with us creatively and pray with us creatively as we anticipate successfully reaching the goal of the campaign. So that is the main purpose of our getting together today. I'd like to start by sharing 3 stories with you about and these are stories that you may not be familiar with, but philanthropy has been the bedrock of Oklahoma Methodist Manor since its inception in 1956. I want to tell you the story about 3 people whose generosity has helped advance the mission of Oklahoma Methodist Manor. The first person I want to tell you about is Edith Bueller. Edith lived in a villa on Sandusky Avenue, and she was a very, very special lady. She was very gracious and very loving and very supportive, and she really had an amazing story. One day when I went to visit Edith, I noticed some photographs on the wall of her residence. And I asked her about the pictures on the wall of her residence. And what she said was that she was orphaned at a very young age, and the images were the homes that that belonged to the family members that she moved into when as her life progressed and as she needed care. And as I visited with her, her desire was to stay in her home as long as she possibly could. And she was diagnosed with a terminal disease, and she had in-home care in her villa until she passed away. And as I visited with her in her home, I was talking with her about a promise from the New Testament book of Titus. Titus 1:2 says, when we arrive at the gates of death, God welcomes those who love him. And I just shared with her that that's one of my favorite scriptures in the New Testament. And she said to me, do you know what one of my favorite verses is? It's, even though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will take care of me. And as an orphan, she clung to that verse throughout her entire life. And when she passed away, she elected to leave the balance of her estate to Oklahoma Methodist Manor. And one of the healthcare households in our newly renovated health center is named in her memory because of her philanthropy. But this simple, quiet, and unassuming person continues to make a difference with her generosity. Another story I want to tell you is about a couple, Joe and Jean Holloman. Joe and Jean were active members at Boston Avenue Methodist Church, and in the early 2000s, after the health center had been renovated, Joe and Jean wanted to make a difference at Oklahoma Methodist Manor, and so they gave the lead gift that enabled the renovation of the original nursing center and the creation of the Holloman Assisted Living Center. They never lived on the campus of Oklahoma Methodist Manor. They never benefited directly from the services that were provided here, but they lived in Midtown. They were active at Boston Avenue United Methodist Church. He was a very successful attorney, and he wanted to make a difference through his charitable giving. And so they gave the money that helped us renovate that building. After my arrival in 2004, I began to visit with Joe and Jean. And Joe was a very gracious person, but he was also very direct. And one day when I was visiting with Joe, as I talked with him about the plans for the redevelopment of the OMM campus, he asked me just very flat out, if I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it? And I talked to him about our plans to renovate the central building, and I talked about square footages and improved apartment sizes and floor plans, and he was basically unimpressed by the descriptions that I gave him. And I left his home and got in my car, and I was driving on the Creek Turnpike to my home, and I realized I had made a terrible, terrible mistake. I called him back on the phone, and I said, Joe, it occurs to me I just made a blunder. I need to come back and see you. Would that be okay? And he laughed and said, well, I'm still here. So I turned around and went back to his residence, and I said, it occurs to me that when you asked me if you were to give a significant gift to Oklahoma Methodist Manor, what would I do with it? And I talked with you about square footages and floor plans and architectural designs. But that's not really what the gift would be about at all. I said, if you gave Oklahoma Methodist Manor a significant gift, we would use it to create an environment where widows could live their last days in an environment of Christian love and support and community. That's what we would do with that gift. And that opened up a discussion. The name Holloman was already on the campus of Oklahoma Methodist Manor, and I asked him if he and his wife would like to do something to memorialize her parents, the Felt family. And that is how the Felt House got its name. Joe and Jean gave the leadership gift that was necessary to complete the renovation of the Felt House in 2010. The third story I want to tell you is about Ed and Louise Cobb. Ed Cobb was the first layperson to be the chairman of the board at Oklahoma Methodist Manor. He was a successful oil man, and he was an active member at First United Methodist Church. I knew Ed and Louise when I was on the staff of First United Methodist Church in the late 80s. And when I asked different people in the church about Ed, I got some fascinating answers when people talked about his character and his commitment. He would take jobs that nobody else wanted, and he would do them with a degree of diligence and commitment that was exemplary. And so when we were talking to people about the need to create a new healthcare environment where person-centered care could be delivered in households in a newly renovated health center, we went to Pat and Patricia Cobb, and we talked with their family about the possibility of a gift that would memorialize Ed and Louise and recognize their commitment to serving Oklahoma Methodist Manor. And so we're so thankful for the many ways that philanthropy at Oklahoma Methodist Manor enables us to realize our vision. The Generation to Generation campaign will provide partial funding. It will help us with the funding that we need in order to accomplish improvements on the campus of Oklahoma Methodist Manor. And what I'd like to do now is to show you a brief video that features Paula Marshall, who herself has made a significant commitment to this campaign.
Hi everybody, I'm Paula Marshall. I'm really pleased to be here with you. I've been traveling quite a bit, and I apologize that I can't be at all these wonderful meetings, but I'm here to tell you that I'm very excited about the role that I've been asked to play by the Methodist Manor, and that is to head up their campaign, their honorary chair for their Generation to Generation campaign that they're running to build onto the manor so that we can support all the people in Oklahoma who are going to need help as they age and as they, maybe need quite a few services. So we're trying to add on, and we need your help. I have a passion for Oklahoma Methodist Manor because since I was a small child, my mother and her best friend, Polly Gaddy, went to church together at Boston Avenue, loved Muzan, loved the church, loved everything about it. And they used to talk about when we would go out to lunch after church, and they would say, when we get old and something happens to us, we're going to be going over to Oklahoma Methodist Manor because that's where we want to be when we get old. So it was a part of my family, talked about it a lot. I never really had anything to do with the manor until my godmother, Polly Gaddy, became unable to live on her own, and she moved there in the assisted living center. And just an amazing transformation for her of being able to live there and have friends and have all of her wonderful sisters in Christ that she used to worship with, be there with her and be able to play games and have food and have activities, and she loved it. One of the things you're going to hear about tonight from Steve is about the project, and one of the very special parts of the project is the way that the Assisted Living Center is going to be structured with a program that they've searched over all of America. And you found a program called the Eden Project, and it's about patient-centered care. It's about how to make these people feel respected and have dignity, even when they can't take care of themselves, and even on days when they may not know where they are. It's about nurses who care. It's about training to help them have dignity until they decide to leave the earth. Again, I'm sorry that I can't be there tonight with you, but I hope that you'll find it in your heart that you could support this project. It's a really important project. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful center. I really would like to be there with you to see your reaction to all of the videos and the drawings, and hear Steve and everyone talk about what's going to happen. We really need this. We need this in our state. We need this in our city. And I want to just thank you ahead of time and say, I hope you have a blessed evening, and I appreciate everything you're doing for Oklahoma Methodist Manor.
So one of the memory care assisted living households will be named the Marshall House in memory of Paula's mom. And we're very fortunate and very grateful for her philanthropy. One of the things that I love about Oklahoma Methodist Manor is the positive view of aging well that is promoted through our wellness programs, through the fellowship, through the koinonia, through the sense of Christian community that exists on the campus here. And I think that you all model Psalm 71 for the rest of us in a way that speaks very powerfully to us. Psalm 71 was written by an old man, and what he's trying to do is to cast a positive view of aging that reflects his commitment to the Lord and the hope that he has as a believer. And this is the way it reads. In you, O Lord, I take refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Upon you I have leaned from my birth. It was you who took me from my mother's womb. My praise is continually of you. But I will hope continually and will praise you yet more and more. So, even to old age and gray hairs, O God, do not forsake me until I proclaim your might to all generations to come. Your power and your righteousness, O God, reach the heavens. You who have done great things, O God, who is like unto you? That sense of mutual care, mutual support, that sense of a commitment to aging well is something that you exemplify here every single day, and it's a tremendous inspiration to all of us. So this is a rendering of the campus today, and this shows the future, the development that we hope to accomplish here in the very center of the campus. And what will happen here is we will be adding a new three-story building that will offer more attractive assisted living accommodations. Currently, the size of the studio apartments in assisted living is 240 square feet. And frequently, even for people who need those accommodations and who want the support that's available in assisted living, when they look at the size of the accommodations, they're really crestfallen because of the space limitations. We also currently only have a limited number of one-bedroom apartments, and that creates a tremendous problem where the demand for those residences exceeds the available supply. Also, we currently face a challenge when someone with mid-stage dementia needs specialized care. Those services are not available currently on the campus of Oklahoma Methodist Manor. So we can care for someone in the late stages of dementia in Cobb Landing in the healthcare households. And we can care for someone in the early stages of dementia in our assisted living area. If all that's needed are reminders about daily medications or assistance with food or help with bathing and dressing, we can provide that kind of support in our traditional assisted living environment. But for someone who has mid-stage dementia, who may have behavioral complications like being prone to wander, or they may be easily agitated, a specialized environment is needed to meet the needs of those people. And that's what we hope to build as a part of this project. We'll have 2 households that will each serve 12 people, and they'll be located actually on the current space where the Holloman Assisted Living Center is located. And the addition of that new level of care will complete the continuum of care on the campus of Oklahoma Methodist Manor. And so when a spouse needs specialized care here, they won't have to go off the campus anymore. They'll be able to receive that care right here on the campus. And we're really looking forward to that because that has been a concern in the past that we're going to be able to address. In this campaign, the 3-story assisted living building and the 2 memory care assisted living households are part of the first phase. So once we reach the goal of the campaign, all of the drawings are ready. We have identified the company that we believe will be the general contractor. When we raise the charitable contributions that are necessary, we'll be able to secure the financing that's needed in order to complete the project, and we'll be able to get underway. It will take about 14 months to build that 3-story building. And when that building is complete, everyone that then lives in the Holloman Assisted Living building will move into new accommodations in the new building. and we'll be able to demolish the Holloman building, and in its place, we'll build the 2 memory care households, and that'll take about 10 months. The total cost of the project is $22 million. We're raising $8.5 million in charitable contributions. A later phase, we hope, will involve the construction of a new community center that will enable us to house large events where everybody on the campus that wants to attend will be able to participate. And I'll talk a little bit more about the design of that building in just a second. So this is the area of the campus that will be affected. The assisted living building will actually have a circle drive that will be right off the main circle where Crestwood is located right now. So if you look to the south and to the east out of these windows, you can see the area where this new circle drive will be added. This is an architectural rendering of the exterior of the 3-story building. This feature here is the covered bridge that now exists. So it gives you a little bit of orientation, a spatial orientation, as to where the new assisted living building will be located. On each of these 2 floors, there'll be 20 apartments, and we're increasing the size of the studio apartments from 240 square feet now to 360 square feet. So they're really almost a third, they are a third larger than the existing accommodations. We're increasing the number of 1-bedroom apartments that we have, and we'll actually have some 2-bedroom apartments to meet the need. This is a rendering of the new dining room, which will be immediately adjacent to the brand new main kitchen that will replace the existing kitchen. And in this dining room, everyone that lives in the new assisted living building will dine in this dining room, as well as anyone from other parts of the campus. For example, those who currently choose to dine in the Arbor dining room will be able to use this new dining venue. Now, it won't be limited to just those folks. Anybody on the campus will be able to eat here. This will add a new level, a new dimension of dining options, though, for everybody on the campus. I asked our dining consultant today how this new dining room will change dining on the campus of OMM. And this is what he said. This new dining room is a game changer. And the reason is, having this dining room immediately adjacent to the main kitchen will improve not only the range of options that will be available to people who eat there, but it will increase the quality of the food service, because it doesn't have to be carted away. The food will be prepared right in the kitchen, and it will be delivered to those who are dining in the dining room. So this new kitchen will be a game changer, and the new dining room will be a game changer for dining at OMM. This rendering shows one of the memory care assisted living households. This is looking to the west. On the right, what you're looking at is the new 3-story assisted living building, and this is the front facade. So the memory care assisted living households will have the look and feel of a residence, an individual single-family residence. Inside, there will be a beautiful dining room and living room and kitchen area and accommodations for 12 people. The people who live in each one of these households will have specialized training in dementia care, and they'll deliver person-centered care to the people who live there. In a minute, I'm going to show you a brief video about the philosophy of care that will be used in these households for the delivery of those services. And we use this philosophy currently in our assisted living and in our skilled nursing. It's called the Eden Alternative, and it's really oriented toward finding out what the personal desires and interests of the person are, and then serving those needs in a way that is customized to fit them.
The Eden Alternative is about making a difference in people's lives.
It's about changing the culture of care, wherever home may be.
To me, the Eden Alternative is the heart.
The Eden Alternative is really all about training and support.
The Eden Alternative is love, caring, living together as family.
Our UPS man came in one day delivering packages, and he said, "There's something really special about this home, and I feel it when I come in here. I like the energy, I like the friendliness, and that's what it's all about."
What we're talking about is an approach that fits the care to the person, rather than demanding that the person change to fit the care. And that's good for people of all ages and all conditions, no matter where they live.
The Eden Alternative has really provided a lot of the people that we work with that aha moment that this is truly the way things should have been done all along.
We recognized that just having a good dedicated team and having a nice physical plant was not enough, that there had to be a cohesive philosophy of care that was centered around the elders.
We've spent a long time thinking about how you can put an end to loneliness, helplessness, and boredom. And we've come up with 3 answers: education, education, education.
The Eden Alternative focuses on care partnerships, and the care partners are starting with the elder, the person receiving the care, but also all the people that could come together as a community and support that elder for success.
Care partners work together to enhance 7 domains of well-being: identity, connectedness, security, autonomy, meaning, growth, and joy. We all need these, and we're going to continue to need these regardless of how old we are or how our abilities may change.
I feel well known here at Rowan as an individual. When I learned more about the Eden Alternative and how that changed the way the staff interacted with the residents, it allowed me to really relax and be who I want to be.
The elders are like family to me. We share joys, we share sorrows when we have to.
The thing I appreciate the most is the relationships with staff. They care about us.
An emphasis on relationships not only improves how we provide care, but also how the organization functions as a whole, how we work with each other.
For example, we had a franchise partner's mom who was dying, and this philosophy really enriched that relationship and provided her tools to really make a difference for her mom and then translate those into the business itself. So it's not segmented away as part of the business, it's personal.
Making changes, big changes in an organization is really hard work, and a lot of times you would feel like you're alone. But being an Eden Registry member gives you access to other people from across the country who are doing the same type of work, and we constantly learn and are inspired by these other members.
The Eden Alternative allows me the freedom to be who I am and to treat others the way I want to be treated.
When I realized that there were people that were trained to honor a stranger like my husband was when he first arrived, and to see when he needed space and to give him his privacy when he needed, but do it with such great respect and tenderness, I actually wanted to hug everyone I saw.
it can be really hard to put a family member in a place like this. But when they come in here, they have that assurance in their heart that they are home away from home.
You know, security is more than simply preventing falls. It's about trust, respect, familiarity, accountability. That not only makes for good care partners, but great team members as well.
Being an Eden Registry member draws talented people to our organization. I have people tell me all the time that I'm here because you practice this philosophy. And once people are here, they don't ever want to leave because it's a great culture to work in. When I've worked in an institutional model, everyone came to me with questions and expected me and wanted me to make decisions about everything. Now that we've pushed decision-making closer to the elders and empowered teams, I can walk around and see amazing things happen that I knew nothing about. I love that.
You don't have to go through all these chains of command to see change. You can implement change yourself.
Everybody has a voice. Everybody has an opportunity to be heard and contribute to this entire community.
Where I was before, when they didn't have the Eden alternative, the residents were restricted in a lot of ways. We had to be in bed at a certain time. We had to make things convenient for them rather than having people help us to live our lives in the most natural way we wanted to live them.
It goes back to the elder being empowered to guide their life in the direction that they want it to go.
The Eden Alternative has impacted me tremendously on a personal level. It really has changed caregiving to care partnering. People want to be involved with giving and receiving care.
When people live in an environment where they know they can give back and that what they do is important, it really changes things.
Meaning is more than just keeping busy. It is being engaged in experiences that are reflective of our unique histories, our passions, our interests, and abilities. And when you can tap into something that's really meaningful every day, then you have the opportunity to continue to grow.
We have this notion in our society that when you reach a certain age, that you can't go further than that you can't learn more, that you can't work more, that you can't contribute. Eden takes that away. It says everything is possible.
What I've seen in my brother, how he's progressed. I mean, a year and a half ago, I didn't think he would have 2 to 3 months left. Whatever they're doing here is the right way.
I'm more patient and really understanding and really give the elder an opportunity to tell me how their day should look.
When the people in an organization experience personal growth, the organization itself becomes stronger and more robust.
The Eden Alternative has really infused a higher quality standard. It's measured by a third-party company that has awarded one of our franchise owners with Best in Home Care.
We've seen resident and family and employee satisfaction ratings just shoot up to best-in-class scores.
Prior to being part of the Eden Alternative, our homes on average ran around 79% occupied. Today, they're well into the 90% occupied and above, and we believe the Eden philosophy has been a huge part of that.
Sometimes when you tell people that you're a nursing home administrator, their face kind of drops and they're like, why are you working in a nursing home? Isn't that depressing? I'm like, no, I love what I do.
It's great when you get to come to work every day and actually touch somebody's life.
This place, when you walk in here, it's full of life. It's full of love. There's connection with people here.
You'll see laughter and hear laughter every day in our home. And sometimes it's just crazy, wild laughter. It's real, it's genuine.
I found the Eden Alternative, where it helped people to not only grow, but to become alive again. Imagine imagine what that did to me as a family member.
If we're really going to create a home and we're going to develop relationships, we have to be real with it. And that means that we cry together and we laugh together and we joke together and we love one another.
This is where we are today. We've raised $5.5 million of the $8.5 million goal. We've recently learned of a challenge from the Maybe Foundation where if we can successfully raise $2 million, the Maybe Foundation will award us a $1 million grant and put us over the finish line for the campaign. And so, part of our purpose today is not just to inform you about where we stand and what our plans are, but to invite your prayers and your thoughtful consideration of participation in the campaign.